welcome to the No Life Digital Podcast. How is everyone doing this fine evening? Today we're going to talk a little bit of Code Vein. I started playing Code Vein. Get into the new Apex mode. We got some gaming news to talk about. I want to talk about all the Google stuff in tech, and we'll talk about this NordVPN hack. And let's get started. What's up, homies?
Yo, it's going.
Is it raining? Raining by you guys?
Yeah, here.
Been on and off, yeah.
I have returned.
I mean, we had the tropical storm come up for us, so it's been raining all week.
Oh, right.
Can I go back to the Midwest?
You sure can.
Colorado was fantastic.
Colorado's not the Midwest, but okay.
I mean, it's still west. It's still west. Whatever. It's still west.
It's west of us.
It's better than Jersey.
Yeah, what did you do there?
We had a friend got married out there, so we
like in the mountains.
Wedding. Actually, yeah, like it was like a ceremony in the woods.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
But they did a quick ceremony. I think it was like half hour, 45 minutes max.
Right.
So I've been to weddings where the ceremonies have drawn out to like 2 hours long, and it's just like, all right, let's hurry this shit up.
Really? I think that's a newer thing now, is like quick ceremonies.
And they signed the certificate and everything there, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that is.
Usually you don't like sign the marriage certificate at the ceremony.
No.
Usually, but they did it there.
I think usually you do that after the wedding.
Yeah, no, my friends always kind of. We're a group that does things a little differently. We're always been weirdos. But it was a great wedding. Fun reception, really fun after party when everyone just let loose and got trashed.
Oh yeah.
And then we explored Colorado for a couple days. I think we drove 20 hours altogether, 1,200 miles on the rental car.
Jesus.
Yeah, we were all over mostly like in the south of like 8 hours south of Denver.
Oh, so you weren't near Denver.
We were closer to Albuquerque, New Mexico than we were to Denver most of the trip.
Interesting.
So it was definitely like I think Colorado, like snow-capped mountains and things like that. And when we had those there because it had snowed right before we got there, it was mostly like more of that like almost like New Mexico kind of environment, like a lot of plains. Fall colors were beautiful though. Yeah.
Did you smoke a lot of weed?
No comment. I will say that as an observer, even the tiniest of towns had 2 dispensaries.
Yeah, they have a little bit of an influx.
Also, the straightest, longest, like just 120 miles in a straight road with a speed limit that was 70 with a minimum speed limit of 50, where it literally had a minimum speed limit posted. And we were probably going about 100 to 120 the entire time, just passing cars, just getting into the into the oncoming lane, because that's a thing you do out there.
Well, it's not like New Jersey.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And not even that I would want to drive that fast in New Jersey.
One cultural difference I noticed was...
Was it like a 2-lane or a 4-lane road?
No, they were all like single-lane roads.
Yeah. What's wrong with getting into the opposite lane to pass a car then?
Well, there was nothing wrong, but like in Jersey, just you don't get a lot of opportunity.
You go 65 at the tops, maybe 80 if you're going Parkway.
Like if you're on highways, you can get into like another lane in a multi-lane road, but for the most part, unless you're in like rural South Jersey, you're not passing cars on single-lane roads. They're just not. Like, it's not a thing you do.
There's just too many cars everywhere.
Either too many cars or the time of day really doesn't even dictate that you need it because no one's on the road.
Okay,
it's just not a thing like we often do here in the state because it's just so heavily populated.
Yeah,
I will say that gas was one of the weird things out there because I'm so accustomed to regular being 87 octane, and there was just a lot of 85 out there, and I'm like, that seems a little low.
I don't know. I
was confused.
What it is here in Philly.
I guess probably. 87. I mean, 87. 87 is usually 80,
regular. Or what does it go? 87 and 90.
87, 89, 91, 93.
Yeah.
is what regular plus premium supreme would be. And out there, regular was 85 and plus was 87. And I was looking at it a little weird because I'm like, that's different.
Maybe we're getting screwed over here then.
Either we're getting screwed over here or out there it's just they have more efficient vehicles. I don't know.
No, I hear Colorado's awesome. I haven't been there. I want to go very soon.
I would recommend. The sand dunes was fun. It was pretty crazy how that naturally occurs, where it really was like just a giant field of sand dunes, like a desert.
From the wind?
Yeah, just naturally occurring. So we rented sandboards. They give you this wax that you put on it, and you just kind of go
Wait,
down the hills.
why were you not near Denver? Is that where your friends live? They just live somewhere else?
Our friends got married down in Durango, which was 8 hours south of Denver, and
Okay.
it was either fly into Durango's little tiny airport for about $700 one way, or get a flight to Denver for like $400 and rent a car for a lot cheaper than that, but drive 8 hours.
I'm curious if there's a Philly International has a lot of one ways or a lot of like small airports.
We flew out of Newark because the timing of the flights. A lot of the flights were nighttime flights coming out of Philly, like going there. And I don't know about you, but driving on little sleep from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. was not something I wanted to do.
Yeah, you could have taken us straight up to Durango from Philly.
Timing.
Oh,
was
no,
the
you
problem.
can't. Hold on, no, you can't. That's
Timing was the problem, and also there was 8 of us on the flight.
Yeah, these are all connecting anyway.
Exactly. We wanted nonstop because there was 8 of us.
No way am I driving that far. Crazy. For no one's wedding.
The roads were pretty fine. The very end of the roads, there was a lot of very sharp turns in the mountains in the dark.
All right.
For the most part, straight driving. Beautiful country. I recommend if you like nature, go check out Colorado. It's
yeah,
fantastic.
I certainly do. I certainly do like nature.
We got one. We a lot of us wish we had gotten one more night in Denver. We only spent one night in Denver. We kind of wish we had an extra day to kind of explore Denver, but we went out drinking that night, and still fun.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some topics. Let's talk about Apex. You were playing the new Apex mode, Halloween mode.
Yeah, it's like fighter fright. It's interesting. Let's get into the negatives first. I remember after the last event they had where like you had to buy everything to unlock the heirloom. Well, they have the heirloom back, but this time you can buy everything from the start in order to get the. But if you buy everything, it automatically unlocks the heirloom. You don't have to buy the heirloom after buying everything else. But you get no free packs whatsoever. You have to buy everything.
Okay.
You get nothing for free. So unlike last time where they gave you 2 things for free, this time they give you nothing for free.
Okay.
It really is just a money play. They just want your money. That's all they want with this event for those cosmetics. They look okay. Nothing really stands out to me as impressive of this one. The game mode itself is interesting in that it's a mix between solo and deathmatch. And by that I mean is like 30 people drop together, and as you die, you become a shadow, which means you just kind of come back with very little health, but you have increased mobility, and your attacks pretty much just one shot, break shields, and then kill if you get the second attack. And you're like a shadow. It's interesting, and then once there's 10 legends left, the goal is to make it to the evac ship and get out. And that's when you becomes a team.
Right, evac,
like
yeah.
A team of 10 versus shadows. It's neat. I played it for maybe like a couple matches in a row, and then I'm kind of just done with it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll play 1 or 2 matches, but I'm kind of done with it. And when you're a shadow, it takes a while to drop and then immediately get killed because you have like maybe I think 45 health altogether. It's it's an interesting concept. It's neat. I don't think it's worth 2 weeks of gameplay. I think it's like a neat, like they could have made it a 1 week event or changed it after a week or something. And there's no penalty for leaving, so a lot of players don't even stick around to Shadows; they just bail. So you're getting matches with like where it's 10 legends left and it's maybe like 6 Shadows. It's already weaning off.
Yeah.
I think
mean, that makes,
I don't know
why though. Like, why would I? That's like counterintuitive to the point of those games.
Yeah.
You just once you die, you quit. You start another one. You don't like then just sit there like, all right, well now I'm gonna become a ghost and wait another 20 minutes to then finally do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get into like 3 games in that time period.
And it's not balanced properly really well. So like a lot of players kind of find that Watson is really strong because she just creates all of these traps with her barrier that the shadows cannot really get through. And I've tried; it's very inconsistent. Where you use the melee attack to try to break the node where like the barrier starts to try to break them.
It just doesn't work.
It's just not, it does. Yeah, it's very inconsistent. Or you run into it and you die because like one touch and you're pretty much dead.
Yeah.
So it's just not balanced very well. And like I said, the whole idea is really just to shill out the cosmetics.
Yeah, that's what all this bullshit is.
And it's all. I mean, that's all it ever will be. Like I said, I still enjoy the ranked mode. I still like the new map. I like the new charge rifle. I like some of the changes they've done. Whereas, of course, people complain and bitch about it. But I mean, I like the idea of a King's Canyon at night, and I would like to see that map come back into a rotation for regular play with a night and day variant, because I think that's a neat change you can do to freshen up a map. But yeah, I'm kind of ready for this event to already be over. I try to like this game. I try to enjoy the things they do, and it's always just on the cusp of like it could be great, and it just stays to be okay.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I started playing PUBG a lot more again. That's been like one of the games I've been consistently hopping into.
I've got a feeling when Call of Duty comes out, the player base for Apex is gonna plummet.
Yeah, I hope so.
And honestly, I'm thinking I really enjoyed that demo. I'm thinking of picking up Call of Duty for the first time in a very long time because that demo was fun.
Oh yeah, no. This new Call of Duty, I'm excited for it. We're gonna talk a little bit about that.
And
later.
unlike other companies' demos where the game is fun, they haven't done any super shitty practices to make me say, "Oh, I'm not gonna buy it."
Yeah.
What?
Looking at you, Battlefront 2.
What?
They ditched all loot boxes.
We just had that conversation 2 weeks ago about how Activision Blizzard is the shills of the world for going to China.
True,
and
I
they
forgot.
haven't done anything controversial.
They are
What?
Activision. I forgot.
I'm not talking about the main company. I'm talking about just like the developers of the game have been decent. Yeah, we bend
our morals around here.
Blizzard is hard right now to really, and we got some news topics on Blizzard, but man, they keep fucking up.
All right, well, real quick on Fortnite, because I actually have been playing Fortnite now that
I
remember
into this black hole.
Well, I wanted to play. I wanted to play with my Xbox controller on my iPad. So it's like, let me put Fortnite on here because I know Fortnite is like an iOS game now. And I connected it with my controller, and man, it was excellent. Like it's just like you're playing it on console on iPad. So that was really cool. But yeah, there seems to be like a new season. I don't really know any of the lore. I don't know. I'm the last person to talk to about Fortnite. It seems a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm using a controller on iPad. Maybe it cues me up with other iPad players. But I'm racking up like 15 kills in these games. I played like 4 games and consistently won the game, as well as like got over 10 kills. So I think if you're trying to get some like quick XP, play it on an iPad and use a controller because it seems a lot easier on there. But that being said, I mean it's it's just a new update, which it seems pretty cool. I mean, Fortnite's not a bad game. I don't want to say it's a bad game. I do think it's pretty fun, but it's just not my game of choice. I've been playing a lot of PUBG, and there's a couple updates there that we don't need to talk about. I do want to talk about Code Vein. So I just finished Code Vein. We know Doobie played it. And I'm a huge Souls-like fan. Love them. Absolutely love 'em.
Haven't finished it yet. Been meaning to. I'm at the end. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and beat it yet.
Yeah, and I mean it is kind of a commitment because you know you're gonna
And
die.
I've heard there's true ending.
Yeah, there's a few different endings I hear.
And true ending takes place years after. I don't know. I gotta play it.
I don't know exactly how to do all that. I might have to look up like spoilers to figure out how to get to certain endings. But
again, it's probably something trivial like collect every single vestige.
yeah, that's what it is. It's something with the vestiges.
Of course it is. And I've missed a bunch of them because generally when I play these games, I see Edge, I stay away from Edge. Turns out Edge is safe to go down because there's a thing at the bottom. Like I was stuck.
That's what I want to talk about. Hold on, I'm trying to bring up some gameplay footage of it.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you were like, for me, like I got through the first like boss, and then there's like this part where it's like I kind of know where to go, but the elevator doesn't come up. And I'm looking and I'm like, how do you get down this thing? And apparently you just fall down onto the platforms. But it was so counterintuitive to what I know from Souls games that I was just like, this doesn't feel right at all. And
yeah.
I had actually looked it up because I was confused about where to go.
All right, I got some gameplay footage up here so you guys can see. The fucking character customization is insane, which is pretty cool. I mean, you can customize pretty much anything. I saw some of the reviews; people were calling it an awesome character customizing game. Yeah, so that was one thing that I wanted to bring up. So you were talking about that when you were doing your little review, and you know, I kind of took it as like, yeah, it's, you know, ledge trapping and just like ledges in general are pretty much a Souls thing. It's part of the Souls world, but this game like relies heavily on it, and I didn't realize that until I started playing it. I mean, every part of the map takes place on a fucking ledge. There's ledges like everywhere.
Yeah, and that's like the thing with Souls games. Like, there's always that specific area. So like, there's the rooftops in the kingdom of like Londo, wherever it is, in Dark Souls 1. There's Blighttown, which is ledge hell.
Right.
But like for the most part, it's not the entire game. It's always like one or two big sections.
Yeah.
And they're kind of known for that trope. But yeah, Code Vein, like
it's all ledges. Unless you get into a boss battle, there's ledges everywhere.
Yeah, I think there's like maybe just a select handful of areas that are not ledges.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like the fireplace underneath, where like down underground. The sand part really isn't super ledge heavy, except when you go on top of the buildings.
Yeah.
But it definitely is, unlike Souls games where there's ledge areas and then the rest of the game.
This is
the ratio is the other way.
There's a lot of ledges. Now, I didn't have much of a problem with the ledges, but the fighting areas are just so narrow, and it just makes it. I mean, one thing I love about Souls games is that you can just, you know, roll around and you can take those hits and take those parries without having to worry about falling on the map. This is just like you're playing on these like tiny little lanes. And that was like, all right, I can see what Doobie was saying about the ledges. My biggest problem is that the game is not difficult. It's very easy. It is a very easy Souls game.
Apparently, from what I've been told, it's either the DLC is adding difficulty options, or after you beat the game, you get difficulty options.
I don't know if that's gonna help. I
do think that the ally system is one of the reasons why it's so easy.
Yeah.
If you just decide not to play, if you want to make the game difficult, you have to go out of your way to make it difficult.
Yeah, I mean, but still, like the ally system makes it super easy. You get revives, like your ally revives you when you get downed, and you get revived with like half health, and then there's buffs that make you pretty much revive almost all of your health. So just like you don't get any of that like fear that you get from the Dark Souls games, because this game, it's just like you're racking up tons of points. The stuff to buy things are so little. I mean, I'm having millions of points just like constantly on me. And I thought that was a little disappointing. Like the difficulty, I was like, this game is surprisingly. There was one boss, one of the ending bosses, where this is like a big battle. I'm going into it. I have a ton of stuff on me. I didn't rest at the missile. I'm just jumping right into it, and I beat him in one go. And that rarely happens in a Souls game. Sometimes it does if you get lucky, but it rarely happens. It was just like, oh my God, I'm either way too powerful or this guy is just way too easy to fight. The parry system is completely broken. You're correct on
I
that.
never figured out how to parry.
It's just broken.
I still haven't.
It's just broken. There's no way.
And I will say, the hardest enemies and bosses are the ones that inflict status ailments, and they're not that many.
No, they're not. And I love those battles.
They destroy you when they actually hit you with a status ailment.
I love those fights too, because you have to, use the right kind of blood code, use the right kind of veil, and it just makes you kind of think about the fight a little bit more.
Some of the jokes I've seen, some of the memes that have come out from the game is like the ice area. The true final boss of the ice area is whatever the monster is that turns into ice like halfway through his health, because he's actually tough. He's harder. It's like one of the bigger enemies.
Yeah, it's in the ice area.
Yeah, and
okay. He's like a bear.
The idea behind it is you do the fire, you do the fire spell on your weapon to give it fire properties, and that breaks through his shield. But he actually hits a lot harder than the actual boss of the area does. Was it the successor of the throat? No, successor of the shield or something like that.
I don't really remember which one it is.
It's the little kid.
Yeah, and where he
yeah, I one
himself.
shot him. He was easy.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it's just, now don't get me wrong. I think it's fun, but I might be biased because I like these kind of games, and I like a game where I do die a few times, and then you kind of have to go back and you're like, all right, next time I won't do that. But it is far easier than I wanted, really.
I don't want to like imply that just because it's easy, it's not a good game, because it's not true. It is a fun game, and I like the story that they told. And I like the fact that lore isn't like this impossible thing that you need to read 1,000 wiki articles just to understand the lore. Because I'm a big story-driven gamer. That's what I like. I like story. I do think, this is not an insult, but I do think it is like the perfect intro game to a Souls-like game. I think this is a game I recommend somebody who hasn't played any of the Souls games before. Be like, all right, pick up Code Vein, try that. If you like that, and that's like, it's too easy for you, then maybe move on to a Dark Souls 1, a Dark Souls 2, a Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And I do hope if they make a Code Vein 2 that they will make it a bigger game, because I feel like it's definitely short.
Yeah, it is short.
I want to see them.
I don't know if I would recommend it though.
And make a second one.
I don't know if I could recommend it for someone.
Not
who
at
wants
60. Not at 60.
No, if it's $20.
But if it's on sale, 30 or 40,
maybe.
And you're really interested in the Souls series,
and you haven't played, like, I still recommend like Bloodborne and all the Dark Souls games. Those are like, you're gonna get challenged. It's less about completely statting your guy and really just about like learning how to parry and stuff like that. And I mean, this one, the combat just doesn't feel as good. The rolls are like, there's this thing where you can get behind an enemy and, do something.
The speed rolls were weird because it's all dependent on your speed, which changes your roll. Because if you have high speed, then you do like almost like a dash instead of a roll. And that confused me because there are certain skills that you can use to buff your speed, which then give you that roll. When your regular roll is just like the medium roll. I don't even know what the heavy roll is, if you even roll whatsoever.
Yeah, I have a heavier build than you do. You just kind of like flop around. But the roll is still, I don't know, like with the Dark Souls heavy roll, like you hit the ground and you roll off of it. You kind of feel that hit, and it just really slows down your fighting, which is fun because there's certain builds and certain things that you have to watch out for. With this, it's just like, it really doesn't matter what build you have. You can stat up and, you can kind of whoop anyone's ass because the blocking and the parrying just don't work. So you just have to basically rely on offense and your gifts.
I found blocking to be decently effective against certain enemies.
I mean, some of them just plow through your blocks, though. You know what I mean?
The rolling enemies, those little guys, they're perfect to block against. Any of the, like, what looks like King's Guards, like in the cathedral, which, by the way, awful area. I never want to go through that area blind again. It's so confusing.
Oh yeah, that area. There was a point where I didn't know where to go, and like you said, you have to kind of drop down at some point. And I was just like, I'm spending an hour just running around looking for this stupid thing. Another thing that I don't like about the game is that it doesn't tell you what's next, and you have to backtrack to to go back to areas, and there will be areas that are like you don't unlock anything. You just go back there, and all of a sudden now you can go to this place, and you don't notice that as you go on. There's some areas where you're like, oh, there's a door here. I can go to this door once I get this thing.
So they're making an update. The 1.04 update does have a prompt that comes up when you get status ailments, telling you what ailment you just got. Which I'm like, okay, that's nice because you don't see that until you just see it pop up on like underneath your thing, and you realize, oh wait, I'm being poisoned.
Yeah.
They're adding in a feature to lock the camera, lock the map direction.
Okay. Yeah, the map is terrible.
That's nice, but the map is terrible because I wish there was more control over the map. I wish I could zoom in.
You can zoom in a little bit and zoom out a little
Yeah.
bit. That's it.
But you can't like control the cursor, so it does get confusing knowing where you are on the map sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's a good start. I definitely want to see them continue the franchise.
Me too. I do.
And make a Code Vein 2, but like improve everything and make it a much more ambitious game.
They need to really revamp the combat. They need to, because I like the Weeb Souls thing. I do think that that's pretty cool.
The art style is fantastic.
Yeah,
I love
the amount of like cool different weapons, and you know, I love the idea of like this like whole blood code thing. You know, focusing it a lot on like elementals. I like all of that, which you don't really see in, you know, Souls games. I just think that the main fundamentals about it are just not good. They're just really not good. And, you know, you can't have a parry system in a game that just doesn't work. You know, some Veils, you have to parry a full second before you get hit, and it just doesn't make any sense. The thing where you get behind someone, like in Sekiro, where you get behind an enemy, you do your stab. It works half the time.
Backstabs I still never figured out fully.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they need to refine it. I would like to see less emphasis on ledges. I want to see a lot harder difficulty, because the main the bosses are kind of hard. They're not so super easy, but everyone else in middle, it's just so fucking easy. You just plow right through them. Did we lose him? Did we lose Doobie?
Hell happened to my
webcam for sure.
Oh, your camera just died.
Yeah, I gotta unplug it and replug it in apparently, because it's not even in my settings.
That's all good. We're watching me fight this boss here. But yeah, overall, I would probably give it like a 5 out of 10. I think it's average. If you can find it for like $20, pick it up. But there's far, far better Souls games out there. I just got finished playing The Surge 2 a few weeks ago. Highly recommend that over this game. And I'm sure that game goes on sale all the time. I would highly recommend you pick that one up.
If you can run it. Highly recommend.
Oh yeah, if you can run it, yeah. Yeah, if you actually, I don't know what this is like on. This is for Xbox and PlayStation, I believe.
So Code Vein apparently, and I've learned this basically through the speedrun community, because I am interested in maybe learning the run.
It doesn't
run
good
cool,
on console.
Neat skips. Is going to be a PC run, because there are apparently tricks that require you to unlock your FPS, and you need between 100 to 120 frames per second to get a certain trick that saves, like it's a big sequence break. And unfortunately, it is, I believe, 30 frames on console locked.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have a question for you. I'm done with this game. It's average. It's average. It's not below average. It's average. I would love to see a Code Vein 2 where they just amp everything up. But is every Japanese RPG about saving? You are the chosen one and you have to save the world. It feels like
that's a classic trope.
Japanese game I've ever played, it's the same exact stupid story. I hate it.
That's the classic JRPG trope. You're the chosen one, you gotta kill God.
Why is that every single one? There's so many out there, they all seem to choose the same story.
I mean, it's definitely an over-abused trope. I try to think of games that do it. Like,
try to think. How about all of them?
No, Final Fantasy, you're not the quote-unquote chosen one. Dragon Quest series, yeah, you're often the hero of light or whatever. But, I mean, killing God is often the big trope.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it, but, I mean, at least spice it up. I mean, this is exactly like you're the chosen one, and you have to save the world. That's exactly what this story is. And there's, like, cool little, vampire stuff in between, but ultimately, there's no, like, depth to the story. There's no emotional character driven, subplots. It's just like
big anime titties.
Yeah, big anime titties, big
Big
swords.
anime titties.
Yeah.
Anime
See, here, all right,
titties
this
and
is a perfect
swords.
example. This video you're watching now, you're watching me try to parry this guy. I'm sitting here getting my ass whipped because I'm like, how the fuck do I parry this guy? And
I thought we were watching big anime titties.
here I do it. And you can see that
That's on the free time.
he goes to attack me, and I just get the parry just right. But there's no way to really know what you did right that time, because I felt like I was doing the same thing before that. It's just they need to refine the whole game. So I would check out Code Vein 2 if one ever comes up, because I'm a Souls fan. I want to play every fucking Souls games out there.
Knowing Bandai Namco, just the way that their games.
Here's the cathedral area that we were talking about.
It'll be on sale for $20 pretty soon.
Yeah, $20 you could check out if you like Souls games.
It's Bandai Namco. Their games always seem to drop pretty quickly on sale for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Still waiting on Sekiro to drop to $30.
Yeah, Sekiro I highly recommend anyone.
That's a From Software game. This was a Bandai Namco not only published but also developed.
Yeah,
this was Bandai Namco's complete project from them, which, by the way, was also delayed a couple times.
Yeah, I remember
which
that being
is
a thing.
Kind of disappointing based on what we got.
Yeah.
It's not, like I said, not a bad game. It's not a below average game. For me, it is about average. I think higher than 5, but still average. So like a 6.
I think you said you gave it a 6 or a 7 last time. I forget what you said.
It's like a 6.5 really for me.
Yeah.
And that can improve based on maybe what they update, what the DLC looks like, because they still really haven't gone into detail of what the DLC is, and I'm not paying $25 for not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
It's just not how I do DLC.
All right. Real quick, Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty has a mobile game. I've been getting into Apple Arcade, and I saw Call of Duty Mobile had like a very high score on Apple's store. And it's actually pretty cool. If you're looking for like a mobile first-person shooter, that one's not too bad, man. It's not too bad. I think they did a pretty good job on that. All right, let me remove this. I don't really have much else to say about it. I just thought it was pretty fun. Every other mobile FPS I've played is terrible. This one's
bad. It's real bad.
Yeah, this one's actually not too bad, and the online seems to work pretty solidly. All right, dude, PUBG Mobile is huge. I didn't realize how big PUBG Mobile is, but I was looking up something on YouTube about PUBG, some sort of like tip or something, and I found, just channels dedicated to PUBG Mobile. I didn't realize it was
just
that big.
Mobile?
Yeah, PUBG Mobile.
Not even like regular, but
nope.
Just straight mobile.
Straight up mobile. And it's obviously like a lot of like Indian kids and Chinese kids that are all playing it, but massive. These are, videos that are getting millions and millions of views. PUBG Mobile. But I guess it makes sense. These kids, maybe they can't afford like a decked out PC, so they have a phone. All right.
Yeah, and like they all pretty much all.
And now I get why
Asus.
Asus puts out phones like that. There is a huge market for those types of phones. Huge. And like all the MOBA games, you know what I mean?
The tactics game, or the auto chess, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a market that it doesn't get talked about much, but it is massive. All right, and we already know my love for Apple Arcade. Been really enjoying it. Diablo 4 and Diablo 2 Remastered will be announced at BlizzCon 2019.
That's very expected, yeah.
Are you pumped for Diablo 4? I know I am. I'm pretty pumped for it.
I am and I'm not. Like I'm going in with
It'll be exclusive to China.
Yeah, no, that's Diablo Immortal. They already announced that last year.
Yeah.
No, it's like one of those where like I am excited. I do want a new Diablo game. Same time, you got to earn back that trust that you lost from Diablo 3. So if you are going to launch Diablo 4 and announce remaking Diablo 2 at the same time, that's a weird proposition to me, because you got to prove to me that why should I buy Diablo 4 if you're bringing back Diablo 2? Let's be real.
Diablo 2 is probably just like that. Hey, it's coming within 6 months. Please wait 2 more years though for Diablo 4.
Do you think they're gonna like?
You say that, but if they
put Diablo...
announced They announced Warcraft 3 remastered last
That's
year.
true.
We still don't have Warcraft 3 remastered.
True.
That's true.
It's been on the store
Let me
for
ask
the
Man,
entire year.
Diablo 2 like remake on Switch does sound very appealing.
Well, do you
Yes,
think
it
they're
does.
going to Diablo 3, Diablo 2? Or do you think it's just going to be an asset upgrade?
I would hope no, if they're doing the way that they're doing the Warcraft 3 is it's just an asset upgrade.
Okay.
Yeah, which is
But
what I think they would
but
do.
like it's a very intense asset upgrade where they're like creating new models. They're
Right.
redoing everything. They're redoing the cutscenes, even things like that. You know what I mean? So like, it would be an intense asset upgrade, but I wouldn't expect them to touch core gameplay.
How old is Diablo 2? God. 2000. So yeah, it's 19 years
19.
old.
I thought it was 98.
June 29th, 2000 on Windows.
Yeah, it's an old one. It's still.
Man,
I mean, is there
that
still
is,
people playing it?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would
Oh,
assume
yeah.
so. That's crazy to me. That is
Now,
crazy.
most of them have gone to Path of Exile, but
Oh, I imagine.
they're still playing Diablo 2 because like by this point, Path of Exile is more Diablo 2 than Diablo 3's been.
Yeah.
So it'll be
Whatever
interesting to see
happened in-
what Diablo 4 is going to do. Is it going to like double down on casual ability of Diablo 3 like Blizzard
I hope
tends
not.
to do?
Man, when are we going to get a new Neverwinter Nights?
Probably never.
Yeah, that was a one
Can
time.
BioWare just go back to their like roots?
Yeah, I
Because
would
they
love
are
that.
bad now.
Yeah.
But like, man, Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2 were both fun games.
Yeah, I want to see a Diablo 4. I'm excited for it. Either way, even if it is like a Diablo 3, because I thought that was pretty fun.
It's fun. It's just not. It's not the same. Where
No, it's not.
and I think there is a chance where it could go back more hardcore because I think Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, but mostly Blizzard, they've been noticing that people really like classic WoW. People really
Right.
like the quote unquote harder, more hardcore gameplay.
Yeah.
Now, is it as big of an audience? I don't think so, but I think it's made some waves, at least in their Blizzard world. You know what I mean?
I think they would do better with like a hardcore Diablo because they still have Overwatch. You know what I mean? Maybe do like a they have that sort of cash roll in, and I mean Diablo 3 did do pretty well for them. It's on every fucking system, so who knows? I hope they don't though, because as much as I enjoyed Diablo 3, I don't think I'd play another Diablo like that.
Right.
I mean, I probably would. I don't know. I don't know if I would.
I would. Play
I
it
want
on
a
my
hardcore
Switch.
Diablo 2 again. You know what I mean?
I would 100% play it on my Switch because that's what Diablo 3 is. It's like
Yeah.
the Nintendo Diablo.
Yeah.
Like,
That's exactly what it is. All right, we're also getting Overwatch 2 if you couldn't
and
get that.
well, there's the rumor that that's the single player thing, maybe.
Yeah, like their StarCraft Ghost, or I think that's what it was called, right?
Yeah, ghosts that never
Never happened,
came out.
and everyone was excited for it.
But the
Rip
art's been
StarCraft
around
64.
for 25 years.
StarCraft 64.
That was the worst implementation of an RTS on console ever. Yeah, Overwatch 2, it says will feature PvE, PvP both. So could be interesting. I wonder if we're gonna get all new characters.
We'll see right now Blizzard and Activision are not in a good spot with PR.
Well, with PR, they're not. With money, they're doing.
Oh, with
No,
money, that's
they're-
fantastic.
they're
That's
doing-
that Chinese money, man.
They're
Come
doing
on.
perfectly fine, man. They're doing perfectly fine.
That's
People will forget about all of this, Hong Kong stuff in like a couple weeks anyway.
Unfortunately, yes, they will. But that's actually been a fight in the WoW community because there's been a couple of WoW YouTubers who, over the years, the build up to Classic released a lot of pissed off people saying like, no, we wish like your current game was still like this. It was still kind of more RPG, hardcore, et cetera, and we see the health of the game is getting worse every year with less and less people.
Yeah.
Blizzard's gone out of their way to tell some of those content creators, you're thinking of the health of the game wrong. The health of the game's doing better than it ever has, e.g. money.
Right.
Because people are buying all the stupid little mounts and microtransactions. So the way that they're thinking health-wise, they're doing A-okay.
Yeah.
Because people are buying their stupid little mount boxes.
Yeah,
It's
I
not even
mean,
a loot box, but still, come on. Get
that's
fuck
the
outta
thing.
here.
It's like there's one thing about the gaming community that I never quite understood. They have they talk a lot, but when it comes to, putting your money where your mouth is, that rarely ever happens, ever. So,
Never. Yeah, no.
and
like,
these companies know this is a 24-hour news cycle. In a week, anything that they could, reincarnate Hitler and people would still buy fucking Diablo 4 when it drops, and it would still do massive numbers. And that's just the reality of the situation.
they'll do slightly less numbers, but no, they'll still. Yeah, dude, gamers were too fickle.
Yeah. Or they'll do something that gamers like. Maybe they need like a PR bump, so they go, all right, we'll give them this one feature that they always wanted, and people will go, oh wow, Blizzard's the best, and then all that PR, that bad PR, goes out the window, and it kind of sucks that that's what it is, but this is what they think about when they make decisions like the ones that they have recently. They go, no one really gives a shit about anything after a couple of weeks, so let's just do what we got to do to keep the money.
How they're going to announce a World of Warcraft expansion too, probably, and no one's going to give a shit about it in 3 weeks because they'll be back to playing Classic.
Yeah. All right. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order channeling Bloodborne and Surge 2 in some of its mechanics. Recent round of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order previews have only served to deepen that perceived connection between Respawn Entertainment's upcoming action-adventure game and the work of Japanese developer From Software. Dude, you give me Star Wars From Software crossover, I jizz my pants. I
just have that come out after the George R.R. Martin one, please.
This game's coming out the same day as Pokemon, so it's gonna be very interesting. My wallet's definitely taking a hit.
Yeah.
I would probably still want to buy both, but I'd probably buy Pokemon first.
Yeah, not me, man. I'm buying this game.
Both.
Well, I'd
Getting
buy
both.
Yeah, I'll probably get both.
I'm gonna get both, but I'm probably gonna buy Pokemon first, just because, like that's getting too close into travel season for holidays. I want a Switch game then because I'm gonna be driving back 16 hours. You know what I mean, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, to me,
Pokemon's coming out
Pokemon
at
is
the
it's cool, but you give me Star Wars From Software combo, come on, dude, I gotta get it. I'm super excited for it, and it's done by Respawn. Let's go, baby.
So yeah, the idea behind it is anytime an enemy kills you, they pretty much gain your experience, and you get it back by not even killing them. You just have to hit them, and then you heal. Apparently,
I don't like that.
Similar to Surge.
Yeah,
I didn't play Surge 2. You did, so you would know more about that.
That's fucking
but,
weird.
And the fact that they are not calling this a Metroidvania, but saying that you will unlock stuff, then revisit other areas to go further in them, which is kind of a Metroidvania without saying the word.
That seems cooler.
I like that. I like that in a Star Wars game. I think that's a neat thing to do with the Star Wars franchise.
You die and lose experience, but then poke them once.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Once you get it back. That's
a
little weird.
Feels a little weird. I think you should at least kill them.
I hope there's like a hard mode that's like straight up Souls, where you have to.
That reminds me a lot of That reminds me not completely, but very similar to I hated the game, but the Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
System where like
the Nemesis
the
system.
enemy, the Nemesis system. That's what it was, which I didn't really care for, but it reminds me somewhat of that.
Same time, speak of a game franchise that wish was just better.
Yeah. Some people really love that game.
No, it's
the
good.
first one was good. The second one I did not like at all.
No, like that's the issue. Is like it's one of those games where it's like you're on that like 70% hump where you're like, I see what you're trying to do and I really like it, but you're not there.
Yeah.
You're just
like
not
Fallout
making that
76.
push from like okay to great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some people, I mean, that was a game of the year that got really good reviews. I just was like, this is kind of boring. This game's kind of just
there were concepts from it I really liked, but yeah, no, it just
Nemesis is cool.
And so far from everything I've seen with this Star Wars game, EA has taken a very backseat approach to it. They are pretty much saying, Respawn, do your thing.
Yeah, they don't want any PR.
Which is, especially after, I think a lot of it stems from the whole Battlefront 2 fiasco.
Oh, absolutely.
With Disney having to call EA to be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
That and the whole Anthem fiasco.
Yeah, they're going to take a backseat. Now, I still expect them to fuck something up, but...
Yeah.
I mean, it's Respawn. So we'll see. I mean, Respawn has done Titanfall series, which a lot of people really like, but just never got that mainstream push, and then Respawn's also done Apex. So
Well, they do mobility and like movement and just core gameplay really well. So then you
and
add
that's
like
gonna be
that
great with Star
Souls.
Wars.
Yeah, and then you add like that Metroidvania Souls like experience, and you got my attention.
With an original story that
Right.
definitely seems to be story
And
based.
it's supposed to be canon, right?
I mean, at this point, I'm pretty certain it's supposed to be canon.
I think they said it is.
Everything
Now,
that was
who
in
said
the
it's supposed
extended,
to be canon?
well, everything that's in the extended universe, was pretty much uncannoned when they did the new trilogy.
Right, but it was canon originally.
Yeah.
So
Originally,
that's
was
kind of my
canon,
point I'm getting at too. Is
and then Marvel
who's
stepped
saying
in,
it's canon, and when
and then
does it become not
Disney
canon?
stepped in and was like, "Hey, Timothy Zahn, your books, good books. They don't exist in our
Fantastic
universe,
books.
though."
Those were some of the best fucking books.
Timothy Zahn was so good.
Yeah.
Even though it's not canon anymore, everyone should read those books. They were great books.
I will say, if you're
Mara Jade is a character that deserves a comeback.
if you're from software, are you upset that your fucking main core gameplay gets ripped off time and time and again? I mean, it's essentially like its own. I mean, what's the first roguelike?
No,
I mean, to be
I
fair,
wouldn't.
though,
I wouldn't because
to be fair, Nintendo doesn't get mad when every game pretty much does Metroid.
Yeah, I
True.
guess that's true.
They didn't get mad when Castlevania went from side-scrolling platformer to Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like it is a form of flattery, is how I guess they would see it, because there's not much you can do. Like, they're gonna copy it. That's video games in a nutshell, basically.
I mean,
like, sorry, every fucking first-person shooter originally was Counter-Strike, or something like that.
Right.
Like,
well, Doom.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything
Duke
goes back to
Nukem.
Doom.
Everything's Doom and Duke Nukem. Like, it all happens. But the thing that why I don't think they would, like, now, you could take that as a
So the only
insult like PUBG did and try
well,
to
I
sue
would
everyone for making battle royales, even though
Right.
it's been a movie since 1976 or
I
whatever.
will say it's almost like free advertising, though, because you hear everything's compared to Dark Souls, and you go,
Right.
That's where I was
name me a
getting to.
gamer that
Yeah.
doesn't. Name me somebody who's never heard of Dark Souls.
I mean, like,
But
I get your. I
that's where I
get
was going is, yes, it's free advertisement. No one's done a fucking better game than them in that genre.
Yeah, true.
There's the
like-
reason why it's always compared to Dark Souls, because
But
they're the quintessential. That is the standard.
If
Yeah.
you're the top dog, that's even just it's more publicity for you, but it's also more people. So say someone picks up Code Vein as their first like Souls-like game, really likes it, they're gonna go buy Dark Souls.
Yeah.
You know,
Or if they
like,
hate it, they're never gonna play a Dark Souls game.
And trust me, Bandai Namco.
Possibly, but they probably
Bandai
weren't gonna
Namco
play
is
one in the first
not
place.
Complaining. Bandai Namco is not complaining because they see a cut of all of that.
Well, what I
because
find
they're the
interesting,
publisher.
what I find interesting is that it's like all these Souls games are. You get the Estus Flask, you get the Bonfire. I mean, they're just like straight up ports of a Souls game. Where it's like in a first-person shooter, the first-person mechanic is pretty much the same, but everything else. Could be
it's like
completely
RPGs.
different.
That's fair.
It's like RPGs with turn-based. For a long time, everything was straight up turn-based.
Yeah.
And turn orders might be a little different here and there.
Right.
But then when Final Fantasy introduced like the active time battle system with the wait bar, I mean, it's still Square, but then Chrono Trigger did it, and then a bunch of RPGs started doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's that, but it's also like, because I've learned this from like a lot of research done on like MMOs and MMO game developers. All of them are actually for the most part they're for it, because most of them, they're all friends, but it's also like, okay, so if you get someone into this genre, they're probably going to buy every game in that genre.
Yeah, like me.
The thing that it's doing more than anything is actually growing the market share of that genre,
because
and it is actually like hurting you. Or
they're not going to
else.
copyright. They're not going to try to copyright like the specific mechanics. They want to see those mechanics taken and evolved, because then they're going to come back with their sequel using some of these improvements that other places have made.
Yeah.
They just want a better system to always be built, because they're going to be using that. And you never know when somebody who's working on a game from one developer might go to another developer.
Yeah.
Right. And it's partially that, and there is a lot of mixing and matching through there for sure. But like it's a different, I mean, it's an entertainment media, so it's not, the product you are selling does not have any type of demand issues with, or not demand issues, but like supply issues behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's an infinite amount of codes I can give out for this game. the thing I want to maximize is how big that marketplace actually is.
Right.
Over than like being an Apple and being like, okay, someone's only going to buy one phone. How do I make sure it's my phone?
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my favorite inspirations is the Splatoon team. When they made Splatoon, there was a lot of younger people at Nintendo, and a lot of them played Call of Duty for inspiration of how to make their own shooter, essentially.
Yeah.
It's still a third-person shooter, but it's such a weird concept. But you don't get that without them drawing inspiration from a Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Which
But I
drew
mean,
inspiration
that's
from
inspiration. I mean, these Souls games are carbon copies of the same game,
Now,
which is cool
that's
for
just
me because,
that's just the genre.
like Jerry said, it's something I'm gonna get all of them because I really enjoy
Right.
that. Like you get a set amount of Estus. That's the only amount of times you can heal during that fight. You have to get to these checkpoints.
That's
it's all
just,
the same
that's
shit.
that's just the genre. Until somebody in that genre decides to push the envelope and change that format, that's the format you're gonna get with that.
The only
genre
ones who've
game.
actually done that have been with Sekiro. That game is different from all the other ones.
Which, to be fair, Sekiro didn't start as its own title. It actually started, and we've talked about this before. It started as a Tenchu game.
Yeah.
Which explains a lot of the decisions stylistically of that game, why stealth is such a big factor.
Yeah.
Whereas
And
in other games, really stealth isn't that big of a factor. You can do it, but it's not nearly emphasized like it is in Sekiro.
Well, I'm happy because I mean a Star Wars Souls game is exactly what I'm looking for, especially with some sort of like nice movement from Respawn and you have EA's budget. I mean, this is a recipe for success. If they fuck this up, I'm going to be so disappointed.
I'm really interested to see what the sales chart is going to look on November 15th between Pokemon and this. And I know they're not competing really against each other.
Yeah.
I'm just interested to see how many people, because I always say that the Switch is a great side system to like a PS4, is I'm really interested in seeing what the sales look like of how many people are buying both.
I would imagine not too many. I would imagine most people are going to get Pokemon. Especially after Battlefront.
It's not. I mean, Pokemon's not. I mean, Pokemon's not eating into the buyers into this like where people are gonna be buying Pokemon instead. It's just two different audiences.
Yeah.
And then you have me, who's just a hardcore nerd that wants to get both.
Yeah, I mean, I want a Pokemon game and I want a Star Wars Souls game. I'm gonna get both, but
Now,
I'm a very
which
minority.
Which one to play first is the question.
You see, I'm playing this one first, but I'm more into like these types of games than I am.
Yeah, because I'll play Pokemon in bed.
Yeah. I mean, Pokemon's cool for me, but it's not a must-play title for myself. That's like a game that, hey, I gotta go somewhere. I'll fire it up for a little bit, and even then, I might even just put on Smash. All right, moving on. Wargroove gets a free update with new characters and campaign. Actually, I've never really gotten too much further in Wargroove. I should head back in there. Double Trouble campaign.
I didn't even know this was coming out. I just saw this in the news. I enjoyed Wargroove a lot. I really should also revisit it, but it's a great game to play when traveling. Like
it's just hard. It's just really fucking difficult.
Yeah, I just have so many games right now, but like on the plane, I was playing something else. But this also would have been like a perfect game to play on the plane. Just 4 hours. This is
the perfect game to put on your phone, really.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue that.
I really wish it was on I really wish it was on mobile.
I'm really happy that they're still adding free content to it, just updating things, new characters now, and a new official campaign. Because the way that game works is, if anybody who's watching hasn't played Wargroove, you can make your own campaign and you can upload it and share it with your friends.
Yeah.
And I've seen some really neat campaigns that I've downloaded and haven't had a chance to play yet, but I always enjoy like community-driven content.
Ubisoft animated multiverse to feature Rayman, Watch Dogs, and Far Cry Blood Dragon. Okay.
I'm guessing this is based just solely so far off of Castlevania, since apparently the Blood Dragon Far Cry 3 spinoff is being produced by the guy who produced Castlevania. The series on Netflix.
Well, it looks like it's gonna be like a cyberpunk thing. No,
I guess no. So the Blood Dragon one was like that weird neon, like 80s retro,
which is usually the best Far Cry games. They did that one for Far Cry 3 too, and it was better than just regular Far Cry.
Captain Laserhawk. That's what they call it.
There's a Watch Dogs series that's apparently going to be more cyber mystery and more aimed at tweens. Which is kind of weird.
I don't know.
I feel like Watch Dogs was better aimed at the adult content, but Rayman makes sense. Rayman just makes sense. It's already cartoony as hell.
Yeah.
Rabbids, same thing. It's the fucking minions of the gaming community.
This sounds so stupid.
This sounds really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where we're at now, though. I guess with gaming properties, where like movies just.
It's always been like this. What do you mean? This is where we're at?
No, I mean, we're gonna see how Nintendo fares with the Mario movie, but like, I have a feeling with Castlevania's success, you're gonna see a lot more of these companies start trying to throw their stuff on Netflix animated.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a thing where they take these IPs and they make terrible movies, terrible cartoons.
We're getting Witcher on Netflix.
Yeah.
And apparently Henry Cavill, I saw an article where he said he lived and breathed all of the Witcher medium before.
Oh yeah, well,
he played all the games. He read all the books.
We'll see, Henry Cavill.
Dude, he used to play fucking WoW nonstop, and like in his free time now, after he's done with The Witcher, he just plays Total War apparently.
That's cool.
Like, he's like a hardcore PC nerd.
Well,
Never knew
let's
that Henry Cavill's a nerd.
Let's hope he fucking does Geralt justice. All right, we have IGN's top 100 best games of all time list with new generation on the horizon. Breath of the Wild now number 5. Okay.
There's a few changes in this list that I'm a little. Pokemon Go is number 100. So like at the very bottom of the list,
sure,
Pokemon Go just makes it.
For sure,
Smash
Pokemon Go
Ultimate
is a a global phenomenon.
Smash Ultimate at 74. I mean, you play a lot of Smash.
Yeah. Are you saying it's too low?
I don't know.
Are you saying it's too high?
If it's the only Smash in this list, I think it's too low at 74.
I think most of the list is kind of bunk, but hey, that's
where
just
is
me.
this list anyway?
Portal 2 is number 3. I don't fully agree with that.
And I also think the original Portal is better than Portal 2.
I would,
going through this list is just like, okay, so this is Nintendo.
I mean, with the top 10,
Nintendo's
for certain.
made a lot of very good games.
Would you say Super Mario World is number 1? Best
game
game
let
ever?
me say it this way. Super Mario 64 is number 10. Super Mario Odyssey, not even on the list.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
64 was good, but at the same time, no.
It did not age well, though. It did not age well.
But no, this is kind of my point with all of these. Is like it's okay. Just stick a Nintendo title in between each of them, and it's just kind of like, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, though, when you look at the history of gaming, Nintendo has dominated a lot of that early history.
Sure.
They did, but so did Atari.
Yeah.
I don't see any Atari there. So did PlayStation
So
after
did
a while.
Sony.
Don't see anything there. Like,
What games from Atari
agree.
have lasted into the lexicon? Like
what
games from Atari era continued for to be considered top 100?
Well, let's say.
I mean, okay, I'll put it this
and
way.
I'm not saying to disregard
Tetris in the top 10. You can just as easily put Pong in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Tetris is better though.
I would say
Tetris is better too, but
I would say that Tetris has changed with the times, though.
I would say that Tetris
Effect.
Okay, Tetris is, but yes, that's just Nintendo.
How many Pongs still come out?
Make a new fucking game, Nintendo.
How many Pongs are coming out?
All right, hold on.
Probably the same amount as Tetris. It's just it's not made by Atari still.
Pong,
do we agree?
Definitely in the classics of like the history of gaming.
I'm sorry. Also, Tetris is a dog shit game. It is not a good game.
Tetris. Man,
all right, can we agree that Super Mario World is the best game ever?
This whole list is like,
is Super Mario World the greatest game?
The games on this list are bad. Sorry.
I wouldn't call Tetris bad. I wouldn't go that far, but I don't know if it's top 10.
I love Tetris.
All right, Super Mario World is not the best game of all time.
It's not.
I don't think.
It's not.
I would put, I don't know. Witcher
I'm surprised
3.
that Red Dead.
Witcher 3 is number 1.
I'm surprised Red Dead is 9 and not.
Wait, where
Red
is
Dead
Witcher
2.
3? Hold on, I need to find out where Witcher 3 is on this list. If
Where
it's
that
not on this
full
list,
list
I'm
is?
fucking throwing it out. Call of
Too
Duty
low.
Modern Warfare is 56, which I can. It's above. Wow. Okay. Fortnite is 77. I don't see Witcher 3 on here. Am I Am I seeing shit?
28.
Borderlands
Okay.
2.
I can agree with that.
It is below BioShock.
What?
Civ 4. Minecraft is 24.
All right. Yeah, this list is fucking crap. It's a crap
The Last of Us is 20.
I'm sorry, you have an Assassin's Creed game.
Portal 2 is 3. The original Portal is 17.
You have Fallout 2 at 92.
How do you even rate this list? That's
Dark
the thing.
Souls
It's like
is
impossible.
before Street Fighter 2 at 16. Grand Theft Auto 5 is 11. You just barely missed the top. Where's Red Dead 2 on here?
It's like 60 something.
Monster Hunter World is above so many things.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is 62, just after Rock Band.
Well, Rock Band's fucking.
But
Okay.
but
Do you want to know how bad this
Splinter Cell
sorry.
Chaos Theory.
Do you want to know how fucking bad this list is? And this
List
is
is
kind of
so
serving
trash.
my fucking point. Resident Evil 2 remake is 81.
Ooh. That might be the best.
So don't get
Resident Evil.
no. That nullifies Tetris as number 7 by using the basis of Tetris Reloaded. No, it's fucking dog shit.
Final Fantasy VI, which I argue is my favorite and the best, is 37, which is
I'm surprised it's on
it
the
might
list.
be the only Final Fantasy on here.
How the fuck do you put a remake on a top 100 list? What the fuck is this?
I'm sorry, Final Fantasy VII is 96.
Wait, is this the new? Is that the new one? The new well, I don't even see it.
Persona 5 is 78 on here, right before 77, Fortnite.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to rank a
bad.
list like this, man. It's so subjective.
It is, but like it exactly. It's very subjective. but
It's
also,
so
like,
subjective.
They
and
shouldn't rank it. They should say these are the top 100 games, just period.
in no order.
Yeah,
Just
in
our
no
recommendations
order.
of
Don't
best games.
Fucking Resident Evil 2 remaster.
But
Just put
man.
Resident Evil 2.
The remaster is fucking good though.
It is, but is it better than the original?
I don't know. It might be. It's
I
really
wonder how-
good.
I
It
wonder
is
how
really
mad
good.
Undertale fans
I don't know
are
if
that
it's
the
the
game
top
is
100
91.
game of all time though. That's insane.
League of Legends is 90.
Is Metal Gear fucking Solid 2 on here?
Metal Gear
Is Metal Gear on?
Solid-
Metal Gear's 30. Come on, man. Like that's
The original Metal Gear Solid is 30.
What? It's stupid because this is obviously meant to just fucking drive clicks and you know what I
Metal
mean.
Gear Solid 3 is 21.
Dishonored is up here. Dishonored is a horrible game.
Rise
Yeah,
of the
it's a bad
Tomb
game.
Raider is 55, above
Thief
Modern Warfare,
2? Really?
above
It's
Mass
not a good
Effect,
game.
which I also don't even think Mass Effect should be on here, above San Andreas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of XCOM's up there. I'd like to see that. Contra, terrible game. I hate
Overwatch
Contra.
is 50. I'm the Blizzard shill. I don't even agree with that.
I think the top 10 you have. All right, let's see. Yeah, I don't think Portal 2 ranks that high. Some people do like that game though.
Spelunky is on this list.
I say Red Dead Redemption
I'm sorry.
deserves
You
this to
have
be up
Left
there.
4 Dead 2 above Counter-Strike 1.6.
Yeah, that's not right.
Rise of the Tomb Raider is 55.
That's what I was just
That's
bitching
so
about.
bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. There's no way that's even a top 100.
They had to
game.
put a woman lead on
Oh
that,
well,
on
okay.
the
Wait,
list.
don't worry though. The Diablo 2 is at 42. So next year, Diablo 2 remastered will be number 7.
There you go, Miss Pac-Man 47.
They got Bloodborne at 34. How many Souls games do they have on there? Dark Souls at 16. I would say Dark Souls fucking sits at like top 10.
You have Fallout New Vegas at number 38, but you have Fallout 2 at number 90. What are you fucking doing with your life?
Don't get it, man.
New
Pokemon
Vegas
Yellow
was good
at 35.
too, but no, it's not. New Vegas is not better than World of Warcraft or StarCraft or Diablo 2
Hold on. How do they put
or
Pokemon?
KOTOR.
Pokemon Yellow, which don't get me wrong, like the original, like red, blue, yellow.
All right, I'm
yellow
over this
follows
list.
Final
anime.
Fantasy 6 is number
But
37, by
not
the way.
Gold or Silver, which not only gave you more Pokemon, was on the Game Boy Color,
The
but also
151 were better,
had
that's why.
16 gyms because it added all of Kanto in it because they realized we were only using half of the memory. Let's throw in a whole nother campaign, essentially.
Red, blue, yellow were better.
Animal Crossing's not on the list.
Disagree with that one.
I disagree with Final Fantasy VI being number
I also
37.
disagree with Metroid Prime being 33.
Yeah, I think we all disagree on every. I'm over the list. Moving on.
Bloodborne is up that high. Bloodborne is on there, but not Dark Souls. Okay, sure, dude.
Yeah, Dark Souls is like number 10 or something.
Okay. Well, like.
All right. Stadia.
So bad.
Stadia is going to be launching soon with missing features. Coming November 9th, which is very soon. The Founders Edition gets you 3 months of Stadia Pro. A Buddy Pass allows you to give a friend 3 months of Stadia Pro, which is pretty cool. Exclusive Night Blue Stadia controller, a Stadia controller power adapter, Chromecast Ultra, and Founders Stadia name and a Founders badge. You know what it doesn't get you? One of Stadia's biggest features. When Google showed Stadia off, one of the best features about the system was that you'd be able to hop between playing on your desktop, tablet, phone, or TV without interruption because the controller itself connects to Google's server via Wi-Fi. It means not having to pair the controller with each system because it's connected directly to Google's magical servers. Only that feature won't be available when the system launches in December. I think the controller only works with the Chromecast at launch. As for wireless gameplay, this is limited to Chromecast Ultra. When plugged in via USB cable, the Stadia controller acts as a standard USB HID controller and may work on other platforms depending on the game and setup. You'll only be able to use the fancy new controller wirelessly in conjunction with the Chromecast Ultra. If you want to be able to use on a PC or other device, you'll have to plug it in using a good old-fashioned USB cable. Now, I'm still really interested in this. I want to see what this whole negative latency thing is. I think that could be really interesting.
Dude, the controller is going to make my movements before I even think them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, dude, that's how you play the number 7 game of all time.
All right, Jerry, the fucking list sucks. We get it.
You need to watch some Grandmasters. There's only like 6 of them in the world.
You need to play some Tetris fucking, what is the one on Switch?
It's a bad game, dude.
99, which is so
Tetris
good.
99.
Love it.
Tetris is fun. Is it fucking number 3? I don't know. Or number 7?
Tetris is the same thing as Snake, is the same thing as Pawn. It's fucking what goes on your fucking razor ass phone so you can kill time.
I'm gonna have to link you to some like Grandmasters playing it like blindfolded.
All right. Moving on. Let's go into tech real quick. Got a couple of things. I don't want to talk. I'll talk about my lens next week because I'm still using it. It's awesome. RF15 and 35L. Pixel. Are you excited for the Pixel?
I do want to see your new lens though at some point. Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week. Are you excited for the new Pixel?
It looks better than I thought it would.
I always like the colors. I do wish Apple did colors like that.
Fantastic.
I like the orange and white.
Yeah. No, they look like the colors look way better. Overall, I still think when you get to the front of the phone, it's kind of ugly. I'm interested to see how there's like everything they've been talking about seems very Apple-y.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see how the security actually is. I want to see how their Face Unlock works because Face ID is really good, and if they can get even close to Face ID, that's a big win for them. That said, it's really fucking expensive. I think it's too fucking expensive.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how the camera does, but like, it's still got a huge ass chin, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand.
It's still an ugly phone at heart. Like from the back of the phone looks fantastic. I gotta give them credit because I badgered Apple. I hate the 3 camera hump. I think it looks fucking stupid. But I gotta give them some, and it still looks stupid here. But they did a little bit better by just the color palette. I think it blends in a bit more because your eye's now attracted to this ridiculous nice orange tone, you know, more so than just here's this ugly hump.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a super ugly phone. I don't understand. Yeah. All right, let me ask you.
It is still an ugly. They made it better than I expected, but I expected a.
Do you think the front is better than just that notch?
No.
Me either. I don't know. I wish they could have kept the notch in there.
If you had it double chinned, possibly. But like with just that one really large single chin, it looks upside down. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they had no choice. Like I love the 90 hertz screen. I think that's awesome.
That's big.
I hear it's a battery killer, but I don't know why they didn't
I'm
upgrade the
sure.
batteries either. But
Also agree.
yeah, I mean,
No,
if you
I
can
would.
be able to control your hertz, like, hey, I'm low on battery, let me switch it to 60, then that's awesome. I wish Apple would do something like that.
Now, I would be more
I'm
interested
kind of
in.
just like blah on this phone though.
Yeah, and I think that's what they were going for, which, yeah, it worked, but like it looks okay. I think it still looks bad. It's one of those phones that I love seeing from the back, but the second you actually turn it over to use, no, just no.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Now,
the color is cool.
what I am curious about is when they update the 3A. That's what I'd be more interested in, honestly, is the 3A update now in like the spring or something.
Yeah, this is an expensive phone for what you're getting. I don't know. I feel like Google needs, because like what I liked about the first Pixel was that it was like that stock Android. This is the stock Android, and this one still kind of feels like that, but it seems very reductive of Apple's phone, and I don't know why they want to do that when you have you have a chance to really kind of push the boundaries there. Do you really need Face ID? I guess. Do you really need to keep that chin there? Do you really need this big camera hump when you only have two cameras? There's no need for that square thing there.
Pretty much, yeah.
Did you?
Like the
Yeah.
square humps just look bad on all the phones. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Now,
it's
I'll
all
also say,
right.
like,
It's okay, I guess.
this is also the indicative point to me, and I do wish they still had the little glass notch, because I did like that in their previous phones, and that's gone now.
Yeah.
But like, this is the current Pixel story: is if you go to their website to look at buying a Pixel, when you actually get to the screen to buy them, this is your view. They show you the back of the phone. You can't rotate it to see the front. Because I get it. They're trying to show you the color choices, but like, it's just a picture of the back of the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, and the colors do look cool. Like I like the orange. I think they're doing a cool job there. I don't know why they didn't go with a matte black for the black one. It's the only one with the glossy glossy back, which makes no sense. Because an all black Pixel with a white button or an all black Pixel with an orange button would have looked cool. Overall, I don't know. It's just kind of like this whole kind of Google release was kind of just like, really? This is kind of, there's really nothing interesting here for me.
And to be fair, that was also the iPhone release to me.
Yeah.
Like I will give them credit. The 90 hertz screen seems interesting. The screen itself seems interesting because they've been getting better at making screens. Hopefully, at least some of them were good. They bumped up the RAM. That's good. It's a little bit faster. But I'm interested to see the main selling point of this phone to me, which is the camera.
Yeah. To me, it would be the camera and the screen, because at that price, you're kind of competing with the 11. And
no, you're entirely competing with the
yeah,
11.
if you have a better screen and you have good battery life and a good camera, then it's an easy choice. You're kind of like, man, I kind of I have to look at an ugly phone, but at least you have like fucking a 90 hertz OLED screen and not, the LCD, whatever
Right.
the specs are for the LCD.
But like it could be a nicer screen. I'm gonna lean, and I probably guess Apple's is still probably nicer. But Apple did a lot to try to make their camera better, and it's been working for video. Google's always been shit at video, just straight up. But they've been amazing at stills. If they get back to their stills are still the best, but like they're at least competent at video, that could be a big difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of interested in seeing. Is Apple catching up with Google on photo, or is Google catching up with Apple on video? To me,
Right.
I take a little bit more videos than photo. I have cameras, if I'm going to take a nice photo, then I'll use like an actual camera. But with having a nice little video and camera in your pocket, it seems really useful for me. So, I mean, they kind of really need to beef up their camera spec or their video specs. Everything else is just like, it's kind of just like, you're just kind of like neck and neck there. Now, performance, unfortunately, doesn't seem like it's going to be able to compete. But at least you have some nice stills. You take some nice stills. I think it's gonna come down to like you said, the camera, the battery life. You know, because the screens probably both gonna look great on the iPhone 11 and on the Pixel. It's really the camera and the battery life.
It's gonna be the camera. It's gonna be what you want to do with the camera, and price will still factor in because, okay, so Google's launch price is $800. If you pay $800 for it, you're silly. I'm sorry. Like they go on sale every 2 days. I think they're already on. If you buy it from Amazon, it's already $100 cheaper, and the phone's not even out yet.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
yeah, that's weird.
Google phones are like never full price if you're doing it right.
Yeah. It sucks that they can't say that.
True. Yeah. No, like, but if
they should be like, we're going to drop it at 800, but just wait a week or so and it'll be $100 off.
Yeah. Like by the time Christmas rolls around, you could probably find them for like $500 all day. You know what I mean? So like, might be worth waiting if you are super interested. Just find the good sale. 'Cause I mean, crap, my original Pixel, when it launched, it had a launch price of what, like $670. I got it for $240 and it was out for a month.
Yeah. What do you think about the Pixel Book?
The Pixel Book Go? I like it and I hate it at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's everyone's sort of take on it.
Like for what it is, I really like what they're doing with it. I wish they would have updated the processor on it. I would say if you're gonna like, just buy the cheapest model. If you're in the cheapest model, that's 650, I think it's very sure you can get 650 if you're like, you want a Chromebook style or you just want something simple that's just gonna always work. I think that's compelling, and I kind of do like the design of it. But if you're gonna start spending more money, they should have just made.
You could spend up to $1,400 on it.
Right, and if you're gonna spend $1,400 on it, since they didn't really update, it's an older processor already, and they didn't really update it. Then you go spend your money elsewhere, or even go buy if you're that interested in a Pixel Book, go buy the original Pixel Book. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many at that price point now that it's like, it's hard to recommend anything above like $650, like you said. That's a pretty good deal for a Chromebook. $1,400. I mean, you're dealing with like XPS series. You got the Lenovo series. There's a lot of really good competition.
You can get a MacBook Pro.
Yeah, you can get a MacBook.
That's starting to get into Razer Blade Stealth territory.
Yeah,
like
that's a bad price point for a Chromebook.
And to be fair, no, they're not expecting you to buy that price of Chromebook. They're expecting you to buy the 650.
Yeah.
But like, if you are thinking about getting a beefier Chromebook,
it's got a 4K screen.
And if you're okay, the 4K screen only comes on the $1,400 model.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All of the rest are the 1080 screen. So if your whole point is like buying that, there are Chromebooks from Lenovo for $650 that have a 4K screen.
Yeah.
And basically this same like an M3 or whatever. Like if you want to beef up a Chromebook that much for some reason because that's what you do, dude, honestly, yeah, just find a fucking original Pixel Book. Because at that price point, what you really need is they need to make a Pixel Book too. And that's what I wanted. Yeah,
it's a little bit disappointing. I mean, if you're, I don't see too many Chromebooks.
Better marketplace for them though. At the same time.
Yeah,
like,
possibly.
I do think if like 650 start getting them on sale for like 500, I do think that is like a perfect place where it's like, okay, it's still a premium build quality laptop.
It's a Facebook machine, you know.
Right. But that's what most people want. But then it's still, if you still have it in a premium package,
yeah,
that's the market I think they really should be marketing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If they can, yeah, because I like the way it looks. I think it looks nice and sleek, and it doesn't look anything like a MacBook, which is good.
Yeah, it's in the like.
I mean, it kind of looks like a MacBook, but it's like super rounded, and it's got soft edges. And then you get
to the weird bottom too, and I'm intrigued by the weird bottom.
Yeah, like if you're buying a laptop for your parents, you know, a Pixel Book Go 650, like you said, get it for 500. That's not a bad deal. They're getting like a stock Android experience or stock Chrome experience, and you know they have like Google's like product service team, and it's not too bad.
And it'll still run like if for minor programming work, it'll still run any Linux app. You can still get any IAD or anything you want. Basically, you can still get Android stuff. Like it's got enough to be able to that I could do my work on it for 650.
Yeah, and
Now,
like you
would I
said, like a
want
Pixel
to?
book, original
Eh,
Pixel
that's a-
book.
I don't know. I don't know if I would want to, but like in a pinch, I could do everything I need to do for my job on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you have the Nest Wi-Fi, which is like mesh Wi-Fi for your house, which is
It's the same thing that the Google Wi-Fi was, just updated.
yeah.
And now under the Nest.
I don't think there's
brand name.
Wi-Fi 6 in it either. I think it's still Wi-Fi 5.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense. Why would you buy something now?
That would be out of date in like a year. I mean, this is kind of what Google kind of sits in. It's kind of just like here's the Android Google Chrome market. You're gonna get some quality looking products. They feel nice. They have some good specs at a pretty reasonable price. You're really not getting much else. The only thing that they do best is their dictation and like their Google Voice stuff and their cameras on their phones. Everything else is kind of just like, yeah, I don't do video editing. I don't do, Photoshop. I don't do CAD. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that whole like
And to be
advanced
honest,
market that pretty much Apple controls. They're really not competing with that.
And you can do most of those things on them nowadays. It's not as good. It's not as good, to be honest. It's not as nice of an environment to do so, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Which that I give them credit for. And what my point is, like, for your average consumer, I think that's more what an average consumer wants. They don't need the absolute top tier best thing. It's like, oh, so this is very good and I can afford it. Awesome.
Yeah. Now I will say, I enjoy how Google is doing an ecosystem. I'm a fan of ecosystems, but they have to be done right. And I want to see where the Google ecosystem goes to, because to me it's still somewhat limited. Like I want to see just some more cool stuff from the Google team, like what Apple does with like the XDR Pro XDR display, and you know what I mean, like just kind of like these weird niche products that are really cool for enthusiasts, because that could be what that could be the start of bringing a more advanced user into the Google world. Because right now I don't see Google as someone that I would ever really choose for. I do a lot of pretty intensive stuff, and they're just not the products that I'm looking at. But if they started offering stuff like that, it definitely would intrigue me,
Yeah.
Because right now it's really just Apple that controls that world. I mean, you have like good Windows laptops, but there's no like Windows ecosystem. And it's kind of unfortunate for me.
And no, because, like Apple's the only one that does it. And I think you either like it or you don't. I'm one of those who I really don't care about their ecosystem.
Yeah.
But I like some of their products. Like, it's you win some, you lose some, I guess. I don't know.
I don't want them.
I think Google's biggest problem is like Google. I don't think Google can build an ecosystem, and I think that's part of the problem.
That's what I'm
is,
afraid
like,
of.
Well, no, I don't think.
I
they
don't want
can.
them to half-ass an ecosystem.
Oh,
There's
they're
nothing worse
gonna
than
half-ass
that.
it. That's all they do is half-ass everything. It's gonna be gone. Like half of these products aren't even gonna exist in 2 years.
That's what I don't want them to do.
And I agree. I don't want them to do that either. But like,
there's nothing worse than
until they prove me wrong, that's what they're gonna do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that said, at the same time, they make some products that are really great, and like that's where I think their focus is more so than like building a lockdown ecosystem, because their entire ecosystems derived from the idea of just get it in people's hands and let the people build it or whatever.
I mean, I hope
they
so.
want their pies in too many places, to have like the Google ecosystem. I
hope so, because a Google I mean, if I say they were to release like a Pixel Book 2 and it's like really good, I don't want to get it and be like, all right, I can only use I want to use it with my Pixel Buds, but it's, a piece of shit that barely works. And then it connects to the Nest Wi-Fi now, which, barely works in the Stadia thing.
That I agree. Yeah, that I think that actually being seamless would be a big step. And I think they have the power to do that.
It's
now,
if they
we'll
do.
See.
Yeah.
Right.
Because at least with Apple, you're like, all right, if I get an Apple MacBook and then I want to upgrade to the Apple ecosystem, it's like a solid experience. It's kind of what they're known for.
But that it has to be. Yeah, exactly. That's their product. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Where Google, it's on a more individual scale of like buy our Wi-Fi
Yeah.
or like buy the Pixel book instead of like that's Apple's whole shtick is like no, buy everything from us while Google's playing the traditional market, I guess, you know?
Yeah. I really just hope they don't start to half-ass it. If they're gonna do it, they have to do it all the way, because it's just, you don't want to deal with that. Because like even with like the Google Home stuff, like it barely
Then I,
ties in with iOS and vice versa, and it's just such a pain in the ass to deal with. These companies, I forget who it was, but someone was just like these companies.
that's on all of them. I fuck all three of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, even like the video codec thing with YouTube, it's just
Right.
so fucking annoying. And
And then
I don't remember
they're
who it
gonna
was, but someone was just like, they just need to grow the fuck up and come together
No,
and
they all
just
do
get
because
something
Amazon
done.
does that shit too. When Apple
Right,
does too,
Amazon does it.
They're all since they're all trying to compete so hard for whatever is in front of your TV. Like they all keep fucking over everybody by constantly changing it.
And it
It's
would be
like how-
fine if they all individually had great ecosystems, because then you could choose
Right.
one. But they don't. I mean, the only one that I enjoy is Apple's ecosystem. I think the other ones, they
and
kind of
that's-
half-ass it. They're like, we kind of want to open source
the-
it, we kind of don't.
Well, and it's not even so much that it's they're all better. That like Apple has a good ecosystem, but Apple doesn't have a good ecosystem for what I would want from a good Google ecosystem.
I see what you're saying.
Or like
yeah.
for my biggest problem with all of them and how they compete with all each other is like they compete to their own
Samsung is
detri-
another one, by the way.
right. They all compete though to their own detriment, where it's like, okay, I just want the best TV box, but if I want to watch Twitch, I now have to buy Amazon. If I want to watch my iTunes library, I have to buy Apple.
Yeah.
But if I want to watch Google, I have to buy Chrome or YouTube. I have to buy a Chromecast. Like they're all. That's where that gets super fucking annoying to me.
Yeah.
But like, to me, the thing I watch the most is YouTube, like by far. So that feeds me more to that side of the camp, which Apple does a bad job at because they won't stop fighting over a codec.
Yeah.
Then at the same time, Amazon and Google keep fighting to the point that now you can't watch YouTube on a Fire thing for a little bit, but now you can. But wait, nope, Amazon took Twitch for its own to try to compete with YouTube, and like
it just gets annoying. I wish there was a third party, separate from all these companies, that these companies paid, or that
but then they keep getting fucked.
Well, I wish that they were able to seamlessly connect them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like I would pay XYZ company $5 a month if this was all seamless. I could watch 4K YouTube on my Apple TV. I could listen to my iTunes library on my file. You know what I mean? Like
I would too.
someone needs to fucking figure this shit out.
That's
It's gonna
the
be the
biggest
detriment.
problem with the ecosystems, dude, and the idea of them, where it's like Apple's not going to allow that.
Yeah.
Google's not going to allow that. Like they don't care that what you're watching it on. They want you to watch it on. Well, they do care, but they don't care if you're watching it. They care that you're watching it on their thing. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. So if they don't care, they'll fuck you over. If some company comes in to try to fix it, they're just going to sue that company out of existence.
Yeah,
Or, like,
it's
break
annoying.
it.
It's annoying. All right. Oh yeah, the NordVPN hack. NordVPN hackers steal crypto keys for NordVPN. Here's what we know so far. Breach happened 19 months ago. Popular VPN service is only disclosing it now. A lot of the commands used in the attack suggest that the hackers had root access, meaning they had almost unfettered control over the server and could read or modify just about any data stored on it. One of three private keys leaked was used to secure a digital certificate that provided HTTPS encryption for NordVPN.com. The key wasn't set to expire until October 2018, some 7 months ago after the March 2018 breach. Hackers could have used the compromised certificate to impersonate the NordVPN website or mount man-in-the-middle attacks on people visiting the real one. Details of the breach have been circulating online since at least May 2018. And it was only until more recently they've come out and announced this. Yes, this is a tried and true hack. This is what's getting everyone. This is how everyone gets their iCloud stuff stolen. This is what everyone gets their Twitter and YouTube stuff stolen, and then get your videos deleted, or someone tweets racist stuff on your Twitter. They spoof these they basically spoof these websites into thinking you're logging into that website. When really they're just taking your information, and it's sort of like the same kind of deal going on here.
Right, but then that happened because so Nord rents all of their servers. Every VPN, you rent the servers. You know, that's the point of the VPN is you get a bunch of rented servers from all over the world, so you can do them quickly, and you can switch them quickly.
Yeah,
things like that. It's so their defense is the server that they were renting. The manager of the server left a vulnerability on the server that was then exploited to get access to their side, which is very plausible.
Yeah.
But the fact that they never said anything about it, and your whole business shtick is VPN security.
Yeah, they need to announce that immediately. Immediately. I'm a NordVPN user. I don't use their app. I just use their servers to connect to. And it's been great. I mean, I use it for crypto all the time. I've never had any issues. I have never had any sort of problems with like IP captures or anything like that. But that being said, this is a little bit weary now. I am a little bit worried. Maybe I have to switch over to another VPN. VPNs are hot business right now. They're making tons of money. There's so many other services that I could choose to rent my servers from. So, this is not good. And we were talking before the show they might have private investors, so we don't know like what their financial situation is like. So it's like, do they announce this and piss off their investors and essentially kind of, get their investors upset? Or do they hold it back and hide it, which will make their investors happy, but upset the consumers? And I think we both agreed that you got to tell the consumer. You got to put it out. You got to pay someone to put out a PR campaign that says, "Look, this is how we got hacked. This is what happened. This is what we're doing to fix it. We apologize." And you just have to deal with it. You just have to deal with it head on.
It's like in security world, you got to pay attention to your consumers, because if you fuck up like that, you're going to lose your consumers, and then that's going to make the investors even worse.
Yeah.
They're less happy.
Yeah, a security company more so than any other company as well.
Yeah, like that's the what I don't get the most, or like that's the biggest fuck up, I guess, is like, no, like you're basically you're a routing company, but you're a security firm based routing company. Like, your customers, protecting your customers' information and having them be knowledgeable is your priority. Like, that's literally what you were getting paid to do.
Right.
Like, so if you start failing at that, like, and like we mentioned, or you mentioned, there are so many VPNs out there nowadays. Like,
yeah,
dude, screw you, I'm off to the next one.
Yeah. And I mean, a VPN is the most basic of services. You're just rerouting your traffic. It's nothing complex. It's, so it's just like, hey, sorry, see you later. You fucked up. You didn't let me know it until 19 months later. Like, I get it if it was like a couple months later. They wanted to make sure that they were definitely hacked. This is over a year later, knocking on 2 years. That is unacceptable. It is unacceptable.
Especially if if this happened and they had knowledge of it and they didn't change the key.
Oh, yeah.
What are you fucking doing, bud?
Yeah. It's a shame because I enjoyed Nord. I thought they, I thought it was a nice service to have for a little bit. Their app works well, but there's so many other ones, man. So many other ones. If you have Nord, maybe shoot them an email, maybe try to get a couple months off for free. And I'm not telling you. Just be like, look, dude, there's Tunnel Bear. There's all different sorts of VPN. Actually, I don't know if Tunnel Bear's still around. What happened with Tunnel Bear?
Tunnel Bear's still around, but they got bought out by McAfee.
I'm getting that one then.
Well, yeah, everyone else was, I'm ditching that one.
Fucking Tunnel Bear. Well, there's so many other more fucking VPNs. I mean, you can just call up a guy in Sweden and get his fucking his server access. It's so easy. All right, that's it. No, all right, you want to see the lens?
Yeah.
The old 15 to 35 Canon.
The biggest 15 to 35.
It's a fucking girthy, dude. It's actually the biggest downside about it is how big it is, which is weird because their 70 to 200 that's coming out is half the size of a normal 70 to 200. So it's odd that they couldn't make this one smaller. But I'm assuming it's because it has stabilization in the lens, which makes a big difference. It's gorgeous.
Can be that, and then it can also be the size of the focaling elements. Like,
Yeah, it's a
generally
2.8, so
big-
it's gonna be nice and big.
generally bigger lens, like that is the downside, is like bigger lenses usually have better image quality.
Yep. This one has great image quality, super sharp on the edges. I mean, it's a super wide lens, so really stabilization isn't that much of an issue. But they knew that the 15 to 35 was a popular vlogging lens, so they kind of wanted to add that extra little stabilization in there, which does help. It gets rid of all those little micro shakes. Autofocus is fast. It's very, very quiet. You can't hear a goddamn thing. It's great for vloggers who have an EOS R. If you have an RP and you're thinking about this, I don't know if I'd recommend it for video. I don't know. I kind of want to see some other maybe YouTubers who have the RP kind of put this on there. But it's an expensive lens. I mean, this lens would cost almost twice as much as the camera. You might just want to stick with the EF lenses and kind of go that route on that cheaper camera.
Now, at the same time, where are all these rumored cheaper R lenses? Because the rumors in Canon land is that they want to make a pro version of the R, like a super pro version of the R. And then on the flip side, they want to make like the Canon M6 III R.
Yeah.
Like, but if you do want to make more of a mid-range R camera, you gotta have some lenses then.
Oh yeah. So far the RF series, when I went to Allen's Camera in Levittown, a very popular camera shop, they were saying like everyone who's been getting the EOS R and using the RF lenses have been very, very happy. It's a very expensive way to go, but you're gonna get really good quality, and that's really it. You're just really getting good quality out of it. So you really kind of got to take into account, do you want the top of the top image quality, or do you want something that's just going to look good and kind of something that you can run around with? That's something that I don't think that this kind of system is best for. This is really for the people who they need the top of the top image quality. And that's not a lot of people, not even myself. I don't really even need that much image quality. I just had a lot of glass that I could sell to buy this fucking expensive ass lens.
True, but it goes into that. That's why I'm interested if they make a pro version, because like that's the hard sell for me, honestly, is because I think the R has great image quality, but it's like, so you have to invest 2,000 into an R, you got to spend probably about $6,000 into lenses, and now you have the best image quality for 1080p.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not 4K for sure. Like it's a hard sell to an extent.
Yeah,
so
you have to be ready to upgrade, really. You have to be down to upgrade. And these RF lenses don't work on anything else. Right. So that G2, Tamron G2 that I sold for this lens, that could have worked on any other, EF mount camera, which there's many of.
And
this
EF
does not.
is ridiculously easy to adapt to.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a gamble. Now I'm a big fan of this camera,
I think they'll like. I'm saying that is a long-term investment. I think RF and the R series is a good long-term investment.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be Canon's new pro line shtick, basically.
Yeah.
My thing is like, if jumping all in right now is not something I would do until I see the R. Like I want the second version of Canon R, basically.
Yeah, 1 second. All right, I gotta get out of here. We're getting our air conditioning units taken out. Thank you all for listening. My dog's freaking out. I'll catch you guys later.
Peace, dude.
All right, peace.